Hey guys, SK here, back with another Clash Royale video. You guys mainly know me as an Expo player, but today I'm going to be showing you something different. This is, in my opinion, the best Hog Rider deck in Clash Royale right now, and one of the best decks in the entire game as well. It's Hog Earthquake, which has been at the forefront of Hog Rider decks in the last few months. Hog EQ has definitely performed better than other versions such as 2.6 Hog Rider Cycle, which runs the Fireball. This is mainly because Earthquake is such a devastating spell for only 3 elixir, being used to help the Hog break through buildings and get tower damage. However, Earthquake's other utility lies in its ability to be a win condition by itself. Sounds ridiculous, but for only 3 elixir, Earthquake cycling can very well be the best game plan in quite a few matchups, where going for Hogs might just give the opponents a counter push and not give you too much value. Overall, Hog Earthquake is an extremely solid deck and a wonderful pick for any players out there looking to take up a new cycle deck that also has a way to beat every other deck in the entire meta. So if we look at the deck construction itself, we have the Hog Rider, of course, which is the standard win condition. It's only 4 elixir, and you guys know it always seems that sometimes a Hog gets 1 or 2 hits, no matter how much elixir you throw at it. There are counters to the Hog, but in many matchups, you can definitely sneak it through and get some hits. Very solid win con for only 4 elixir, pretty cheap and cost effective. And next up for defenses, we have the Valkyrie and the Tesla. So these are where some variations might come in. Some other Hog Rider decks, Hog Earthquake decks, run the Knight instead of Valk, Bomb Tower instead of Tesla, but other than that, this is pretty much the standard construction, and Valkyrie is just so good right now because she's kind of a one-size-fits-all mini-tank, especially in this current meta. She can counter Skeleton King, which is huge because Skeleton King is one of the best cards in the game right now, for sure. She can counter Archer Queen for the most part. She can counter Royal Hogs as well, which is another great meta deck, and ultimately, for only 1 more elixir than the Knight, her utility is super good. And Valkyrie's one downside is that she costs more than the Knight, but that's usually offset by the fact that Hog EQ is such a fast cycle deck anyways, and in other cycle decks like Expo and Logbait, you can still win because of the Earthquake and the fast cycle, where the Valk's cost doesn't matter too much. And we do have the Tesla, which is a very standard, pretty solid building, definitely not the best building in the game right now. Actually, a lot of Hog decks do like to use Cannon these days, not even Bomb Tower anymore. Cannon has been a really good card used in the meta in many decks, but I feel like Tesla is just very solid and safe, and it does give you a better matchup spread against stuff like air decks especially, so Lavahound and all of that kind of stuff. Cannon obviously doesn't get much value because of the fact that it doesn't target air, whereas Tesla does. And Tesla is also pretty good because it's only 2x2 tiles, so you can place it in places that you can't play other buildings like the Cannon. You can play an anti-Earthquake Tesla. You have a lot of outplay potential with this card, and it's a very solid defense, very good defensive core with the Valk, Tesla, and the Archer Queen, which is pretty much the best champion in the game right now, and pretty much the best card in the game right now. Almost all the best decks in the meta use either Archer Queen or Skeleton King. Champion's obviously very strong with her ability, and she's just a very good defensive card. You'll notice that this deck doesn't really have many air counters, but the Archer Queen does the trick so well that you don't even need that many. She can single-handedly take out a lot of stuff, plus when you combine it with the Tesla as opposed to like a Cannon or Bomb Tower, you do have a better chance against air decks, again, like I said. And Archer Queen also offers the 3-card cycle, which, if you guys didn't know, when you play a champion down, you can't cycle back to another one, so your deck becomes a 3-card cycle instead of 4. So I could play a Hog, then play Skeletons, Fire Spirit, Log, and I'm already back to another Hog. So that's if an Archer Queen is down. 3-card cycle gets extremely strong with something like the Earthquake, where you can just spell cycle them out, and adds to the Earthquake cycle being a win condition again. But you can also use the 3-card cycle to cycle multiple Valkyries, Teslas, Fire Spirits, just all sorts of things. Very strong mechanical card and very strong on defense too. Absolute must. If you don't have the Archer Queen though, you can easily substitute this for a Firecracker with not much issue. But Archer Queen is better if you have the option for it. And lastly, we have some pretty standard cards, Skeletons, Log, very standard cycle cards. And we do have the Fire Spirit, which is a very secret strong card in the meta right now. Like, a lot of people have talked about it, but a lot of people don't talk about it as well. For only 1 elixir, it does more damage to a tower than a fireball, which is just insane. And you can play it at the bridge. It's going to be insane for pressure in this kind of deck where you already have pretty solid defense with the Archer Queen and Tesla. You don't really need a stronger defensive spirit like the Ice Spirit or Electro Spirit, so Fire Spirit does fit the bill very nicely and just offers some really good offensive pressure again. Can also be really good against stuff like Swarm and Minion Hordes and other air decks. So overall, very solid deck construction, and that was basically my introduction to the fundamentals of the deck, as well as my breakdown of the cards in it. Now I'm going to be playing with this deck live, so let's get right into the matches, and I will see you there. Alright, so I just won a game against Double Barrel Bait using this Hog Earthquake deck, and I'm currently 8-1 in the Grand Challenge right now, so let's keep it going. Off to a pretty good start. Found a match against Gwat Dennis from GT Brotherhood, so I think I'll just cycle my Log at the start. In terms of starting plays for this deck, I think you can do Log, Fire Spirit, or Hog, maybe even Earthquake in a pinch. Just going to Fire Spirit to make sure the Barb Barrel doesn't get any damage on my tower. And, okay, I was going to Earthquake, but he goes Ice Golem, so I'll go Queen instead. Sometimes Earthquake is the best play, which is kind of silly in my opinion. But he goes for a Firecracker, and Barb Barrel, Ice Golem, Firecracker, I don't really know what this is anymore. But I think I don't want to Earthquake the Firecracker just because I don't know what it could be. Looks like it might be 3 Musketeers with the Barb Barrel, Ice Golem, Heal Spirit, and Bandit. But I will go for a Hog now because I'm counter pushing with quite a lot. And okay, maybe I should have gone for the Hog after the tower was targeting the Valk. But actually Valk does get a shot on the Hunter, and I'm going to go Earthquake just to clear that up. And Queen ability should forces out the Bandit here. And okay, gonna do a little trick here, pulling the Bandit to the middle with Skeletons, then Fire Spirit off to the side to make sure Heal Spirit doesn't get any healing on the Bandit. So that's a little trick you can do that I like to use against Heal Spirit if you don't have Login Cycle. And against Royal Hogs, you can go Tesla, or you can just go Valk Log, and it will actually fully counter. So Valk Log will also counter push, like my Valkyrie right now is counter pushing, and he goes for a Hunter. I think I will just Earthquake it, because I don't really want to cycle anything else. And it'll make sure I don't have to respond to the Hunter anyway, so, you know, cementing the damage lead. And yeah, we're off to a pretty good start against what looks to be 3M Royal Hogs. I'm not sure what else it would be, although the Firecracker is throwing me off a little bit, because usually they don't run Firecracker in a 3 Musketeers deck, but I think I will just reset with a Queen in the back. Goes for 3M, there it is. He says thanks, I guess I'll just say thanks back. I don't know what that was, but yeah, I don't really want to go Hog because it would just go into his push, and I knew he might go for something in the back, so, you know, going for Hog wouldn't have been the best. So I think sometimes you want to go for Hogs aggressively, but usually you still want to be smart about them. Like right now I have a nice counter push, so it's like, it's kind of hard to find that balance between knowing when to go for a Hog and when it'll be an overcommit, but I mean, Hog gets 2 hits there, that's really huge. And he goes for Royal Hogs, just go for another Valk Log, should fully counter this again. So yeah, really nice counter to the Royal Hogs actually, and I tried to activate King off the Firecracker, sadly didn't work out. But I mean, we have a huge damage lead, and he hasn't revealed any real way to break through. Gonna go Queen in the right, and then Earthquake on the left, so what I want to do is just defend everything in the right with my other troops. Like, I'm gonna go Fire Spirit in the right, and then Valk to clean up everything in the left instead, because Valk just puts in so much work. Yeah, so he goes Royal Hogs, and that's where you see my cycling Fire Spirit in the right actually paid off really well, because I knew Valk would clean up on the left anyways. Not going to go for a Hog Rider, sorry, with the Valkyrie, because it's pretty low on HP, so I'd rather just let it die, and we do get a free Earthquake off on the Firecracker. He hasn't revealed to have an Elixir Pump or anything. Now going to go for a Hog, because he doesn't have his Musketeers high enough. That'll get at least 1 hit. Yeah, so maybe a bit aggressive by me, but still, I think I can do the same thing, you know, Valk on the left to basically take everything out. Gonna go Skellies to fully counter this Bandit here. Goes for Royal Hogs, gonna go Valk, and Heal Spirit's a bit annoying, but I'm gonna try and not let it heal up the Royal Hogs. I'm fine with taking some damage in the right, because I'm already back to another Valk actually, so 3-card cycle, pretty overpowered there, and Log will just clean everything up. So much splash and crowd control in this deck with the Valk, Fire Spirit, and Log. Just gonna Tesla, anticipating his Royal Hogs, there they are. And Queen ability, looks like he wasn't even expecting it actually. I think he had Barb Barrel, but yeah, that's gonna be a real nice win against 3 Musketeers to start out the video, which is pretty nice. This deck is really strong. And between the Valkyrie, Log, and Archer Queen, our opponent had basically no chance of breaking through, so this deck has really strong defense, even in the simplest of cards. And it looks like queue time is taking quite a while here, so I'll cut the video until we find a match. See you guys then. Okay, and looks like we found it against FHTM. So let's find out what he's playing, and with this deck, I think you can play Hog at the start. I'm going to go for a Log first, just because it's a bit safer, but as long as you kind of let the Hog die, I think it's totally fine. He goes for a Barb Barrel. Now I'm going to go for the Fire Spirit. You know, Fire Spirit's such a strong card. For 1 Elixir, it does more than a Fireball, as you can see. Going to go for a Hog, as he goes for a Mighty Miner opposite lane. So, new card making an appearance, and it's going to be Mighty Miner Royal Recruits with the Barb Barrel. So, I think I'll go for a Tesla in the middle, to just kind of help out against both recruits. Going to play it a bit lower as well, and then Valk up high to kind of draw everything in together, and tank for the Mighty Miner to get the most value out of my Tesla. Usually that's what you want to do against most recruits matchups, I think, and then just queen on the flying machine. So I've actually lost this matchup quite a few times in my process of trying to learn it. So if you guys didn't know, I played a best of 5 against Officer Ramsey. He's a pretty cool guy, and I did lose with Hog EQ against recruits, and I figured out I was basically not doing too much wrong, except I wasn't dealing with the flying machines correctly. So in this matchup, I think you want to save either the Tesla or the Archer Queen to take out the flying machine. And I'm just going to log these Royal Hogs. Tesla should help clean up basically everything. And Barb's coming in. I could respond to it. Maybe I could have gone for a Hog to pull it, but I feel like it's a bit late now. Definitely didn't want to overcommit with a Valk or Archer Queen, though, because I don't want to go down too much elixir, and it's only one hit anyways. So I think we're fine. Gonna go Hog now, as he goes for a Mighty Miner in the back. So Cage comes in. Gonna Earthquake it. This might be a bit aggressive, but I do believe that the defense of the deck is so strong, especially against recruits, that we should be good. I mean, we have the Valk, Fire Spirit, Archer Queen, and Teslugs. As long as the mechanics are good, we should defend almost any kind of push thrown at us pretty easily, as he goes for the Mighty Miner ability. But I can just pull it into my Archer Queen with the Fire Spirit, and it feels like it wasn't really worth the elixir cost there. So interesting Mighty Miner, but I'm just going to Earthquake log, and notice how Earthquake log 1 kills Zappies, and 2 Earthquake does kill Recruit Shield. So those are really good interactions to know in this matchup. And sometimes I like to either log or Earthquake the recruits just to take the shield out. Goes for a Cage. I think I will just Earthquake it to get it out and get some tower damage. We're already up quite a lot. So Royal Recruits, usually a really bad matchup for Expo, my main deck. But with Hog EQ, it becomes really trivial because you have the Valk, the Tesla, and you don't have the Expo, you have the Hog. So you have a much easier way of getting damage that doesn't get countered that much by the recruits. But now this is a bit difficult because there's a full flying machine push. Gonna Tesla to snipe the flying machine like I talked about. And okay, wow, there's a lot on the field. Gonna log everything back and then Fire Spirit. And actually that was a pretty nice defense. I mean, we're taking a lot of damage here. Gonna go for a Valk. We did take a lot of damage. Oh, I should have gone for Queen ability as well. Maybe could have won the game off of that. But gonna Tesla this flying machine up high. And yeah, I feel like that defense could have been better for sure. But even though I had so much on the field getting thrown at me, I was still able to defend. That's just how strong this deck is. I'm going to do what I said, just Earthquake to take the shield of the recruits off, as well as get damage in my lane that I'm going for. Going to go for a Queen now, and I'm actually fine going for a Queen because he doesn't have Fireball arrows, so even if he Fireballs the Queen, it'll stay alive, and it's not really too much of an issue. Although Recruit did get one hit on it, so I'm a bit worried, but gonna pop ability here, and Tesla should help out against the flying machine too, as it does. Nice. So yeah, in this matchup, I think it's really just about getting your Teslas to, or Archer Queens to snipe the flying machine. As long as you get the flying machine under control, it should be very easy. Just gonna go for a Hog. Sadly, I do miss 2 of the Zappies with my Earthquake, otherwise I could have gone log to take out all of them, but I mean, still, I'm just gonna defend, not overcommit with a log just yet. I want him to go recruits and then try and hit them with my log. Okay, looks like he didn't go recruits. For some reason, I thought he would, so that's why I went for a log then. But Tesla is still in the flying machine. This is what I was talking about. Because he has Fireball Barb Barrel, he doesn't have Fireball Arrows, so Queen needs quite a lot to come out, and that Hog is really threatening to get a hit. Now I'm just going to cycle back to my Earthquake, and Valk should take out those Hogs. So even though looked pretty close at the end, I feel like that was a pretty good matchup and pretty clean win. Even though I took a bunch of damage, as long as I didn't really stress out and panic, it was fine, and so that was pretty nice. So let's go right for the next match. Found it against Zetaka, who's in a season end clan. I guess it is in the last few days of the season already, so maybe he's pushing ladder or something, but just gonna split skeletons, and he goes for Tombstone, so I'll Earthquake it. Tombstone could be Splash Yard, so Graveyard with Baby Dragon, Ice Wiz, Tornado, could be Royal Giant Skeleton King. As we do see the Hunter, I think it is going to be RG. Just going to go for a Tesla in the middle. Tombstone could also be Lavahound, but you never really see Hunter with Lavahound, so I'm inclined to believe it's going to be RG. Yeah, with the log as well. You don't really see either of those 2 cards, the log or the Hunter, with Splash Yard. So he does have bats, though. That's not in the normal version. I think the normal version I'm used to is like Tombstone, E-Spirit, Fisherman. Just going to go Earthquake as he goes for a Skelly King in the back. So I could go for a Queen or a Valk into it. I think maybe Valk would be better, so I can save Queen. If he goes RG opposite lane or something, then I can use the ability to get a lot of DPS. But Tombstone comes in, and I'll just go for a Hog, actually, because that Tombstone isn't pulling the Hog. So yeah, he's forced to commit with a Fisherman, Sadly gets a nice log in to reset, and even though it was a bit of an overspend against the Hog, I don't get any Hog hits, so I guess that was pretty well played. Fire Spirit to pressure, forces out the bats. I was kind of hoping that maybe the Hog would at least get a hit, or I guess force the Fisherman out in a different fashion, but I guess Queen just DPS's that down pretty nicely anyways. Kind of lost my train of thought there. But yeah, Queen, Tesla, and this deck usually does have Lightning, so it is going to be a bit scary if he Lightnings my Queen plus Tesla, so I'm going to try and make sure I always spread out my Queen and Tesla far apart from each other to make sure I don't really take any kind of lightning value, or rather get any lightning value and give it to him. But just going to Fire Spirit to pressure again, and then just center Tesla after the Fisherman walks over. Going to be a bit patient. And then Earthquake. I do want damage on the right side, but he's giving me value with the Hunter as well, so might as well take it. Plus that is his weaker side tower anyway, so he might be switching lanes actually to my right lane pretty soon. But just going to go Valk, and then Fire Spirit at the bridge. This is why Fire Spirit can be pretty annoying actually. Look at this. It splashes the tower and still hits. Like, that's pretty ridiculous. Going to go for a Queen. Probably going to get a Lightning out, but I went for it pretty high to try and force him to not Lightning on my tower. And he's back to an RG, so going to go for a low Tesla, and then log all this back, and then go for a Valk to hit both the Fisherman and the RG. Fire Spirit to take out the bats. Hopefully I don't take too much RG damage here. Skeletons as well, and I do unfortunately take one hit, but I'm still in the lead. So we should be pretty good. I think just resetting with a Tesla here would be nice. Playing very passive, because, you know, he has Tombstone, Hunter, Fisherman. I have to be really careful of going for Hogs. I'm going to go for it now because he went for a Hunter and then prediction Earthquake the Tombstone as I hit it. But this is actually a bit scary, so yeah, I'm not sure, like, I feel like I enjoy going pretty aggressively with my Hogs. But at the same time, when it gives them a big push, it makes me a bit worried. So yeah, we're going to be down quite a bit of elixir here. Going to have to defend the big RG Skelly King push. Let's go for Hog opposite to try and pressure with this Queen and Earthquake. Oh, okay, looks like he did a pretty good play of not going for Tombstone. I might actually get punished pretty hard for that, because the Earthquake was probably a bit too aggressive. But Tesla hopefully cleans up against the RG. Wow, he has 2 RGs down, so let's go for a Valk. Kind of waited on it just until the Fisherman wouldn't pull it away, and then gonna go for a Hog as well while the Valk is DPSing down the RG. And Earthquake for the Tombstone. Bats do come in, and with the activated King, that is going to fully counter. Gonna go Fire Spirit to clean up the bats, but yeah, this is actually looking not that good now, because now I kind of have to go same lane as him. Although I don't really want to. Yeah, he's building up these huge RG pushes. Obviously, if I go Hog in the left right now, that would just be like walking into a minefield, so don't want to do that. Gonna go for a high Queen again. Anti-lightning placement, I think this is, as I learned from Ian. So gonna pop ability here. He goes for Fisherman, trying to hook my Queen away, and he does take it all out with the Lightning. So gonna go for a Valk, and then cycle back to a Tesla. But Fisherman does pull my Valk away from the RG. Gonna have to try and cycle back to another one. But both those Fishermans are putting in a lot of work. Gonna Tesla here. This placement should push the RG back and out of range. Wow, I still take a lot of damage, and I think he's back to an RG. Yeah, this is getting a bit ridiculous with the Skelly King 3-card cycle. I think that is going to be GG, actually. So yeah, unfortunate loss. I think I probably could have won that matchup, honestly, because it seems like it wouldn't be too bad. Even though he does have Lightning, it's difficult, but I feel like a good player would win that. I think I was just a bit too aggressive with my Hog Earthquakes, and that's always something I'm trying to learn. So I'm going to give TIV Bill all the good luck and cycle a log. And he goes for a Bar Barrel, so just going to go Valk, I guess. Don't want a Queen, because it's like my only air targeting card apart from Tesla. And he has an Ice Whiz, so okay, could be Splash Yard this time with the Bar Barrel Ice Whiz, or could be like E-Giant or Golem. I'm not sure which one it's going to be. I think it might not be Graveyard, actually, because based on that Baby Dragon placement, I feel like he's not too worried about a King activation. I'm going to go for Hog, counter pushing with this Queen. He goes for a Mighty Miner. It could actually just be either Golem, E-Giant, or Splash Yard now. And okay, Queen is still on the Mighty Miner, unfortunately. Gonna try and spam this ability to try and get it off, as I do get it off just in the nick of time, and I do get some really nice Queen hits, and I force out a late Bar Barrel, so that was really good. In the last couple of matches, I noticed that one of the times my Queen I wasn't using the ability when I could have, so I'm trying to work on that, I guess. Like, it's kind of fun to play these different decks, because you learn a lot, and E-Giant is coming in. I think cycling Valk first is better, because if I cycle a Tesla first, it's not like I'm going to cycle back to a second Tesla and single elixir. It's a bit like too lofty to try and do, or like I just don't think it would be smart. Gonna go for a queen now. I don't think he has enough elixir for a lightning, considering the fact that he played... Okay, he has it now, but that's why I waited. I knew he didn't have lightning right away. But I didn't want to go queen right at the start either because of the fact that he would have just nadoed it into the E-Giant, right? And he actually messes up his tornado there, so... yeah, that's going to be GG, actually. Like, I'm going to give the early GG because when you're down a full tower against Hog EQ, I mean, he could maybe make something happen, but it's Hog EQ. It's like, the defense is so good that I feel like with perfect defense, if you're down a tower, Hog EQ should be able to defend just about anything in the game. Especially if you don't have to worry about committing elixir to a hog to make your push happen, but gonna go for a queen in the back. Yeah, predicting the push in the right. There's no way he would go in the left when his tower is down. So he is going to switch. Going to go for a Valk. And yeah, I think cycling Valk before Tesla is always going to be better. Even though now that it's double elixir, I can definitely cycle back to a second Tesla. Lightning comes in that actually misses my Tesla, so I'm actually totally fine with that. Fire Spirit here to splash on everything. Going to go Skellies, even though they're kind of sacrificial into the E-Giant. I still think the damage is welcome. I'm going to go Queen. Notice how I'm playing my Queens all the way off to the side to try and not give him any E-Giant value. Going to go Hog here, because I think he's going to E-Giant into this Queen. And wow, actually messes up the Tombstone. So yeah, he has to go for a pretty awkward Ice Whiz. Hog gets, I believe, 2 hits. And now E-Giant is like a card that you can pull super far. So this Tesla placement you want to take note of as well. You can pull it super far. And just going to log this back. That's going to be a really nice win against E-Giant. So just really good pressure there. Not much else to say, just avoiding giving value with my Queen, Tower, and Tesla for his Lightning, and avoiding letting him just nado my Queen into his E-Giant. That's something you want to be careful of, because that's a pretty creative way of dealing with the Queen. I remember in my first season of pushing, when I got my 107 finish, I played against an E-Giant player. He nadoed my Queen into the E-Giant and actually basically countered it, so that was like pretty creative, I would say. Now it's a pretty common play though, so just be careful of it. But we found the next match against Gok Denise, and we are 11-2 now, so this is the do or die game. I sadly don't have Valk or Skellies in cycle for that Bandit, so I'm going to just pop ability, then go for a Hog. I think it would be a pretty good Hog, because I don't just want to let my Queen die. Yeah, because iDrag's forced out. I do get 2 Hog hits though, so that's like a 4-for-4 trade, while my Queen is still taking out the Inferno Dragon, so... technically just maximizing value out of my Queen. You know, he could have just ignored it, or maybe just gone for the iDrag by itself, but that's still... I feel like that just got a lot of value out of my situation. He goes for a Golem in the back, unfortunately, so gonna go Valk, and again, I think I want a Valk before going Tesla, just because there's not much point in single going for Tesla right at the start, especially because Tesla's been nerfed so much. Its lifetime is pretty low now. You don't want to go for it too early. But goes for a Baby Dragon. Now I want to see if he has a Lightning or not. Gonna Queen to try and snipe this Bandit plus Baby Dragon. Nice, Queen does hit the Baby Dragon. Gonna go Skellies just to protect the Queen from the Lumberjack, and that's gonna be a really nice defense. So, yeah, like just Tesla in the middle, Queen off to the side, and that is a pretty standard defense, I would say. Not much experience required. But also, this deck is really fun because it's pretty similar to Expo, like in terms of your defensive sequences. So, since I play Expo, I enjoy it quite a lot. I'm just gonna go Hog here. He does have a Skarmy, so gonna Earthquake. Unfortunately, I didn't know he had Skarmy, so my reaction time wasn't the best. I don't get any Hog hits, but I still think it was worth it to Earthquake that, because I don't think I would Earthquake anything else in this deck, unless I'm like trying to stall him out late in the match. But just gonna wait to see. I feel like he's gonna Golem here. Just gonna go log. Yeah, there's the Golem. So gonna rinse and repeat, you know, Valk right at the start. Also, cycling Valk at the start of pushes does let you cycle back to multiple Valkyries, so that's one thing that you want to keep in mind with any deck you play, any cycle deck. You can usually cycle to multiple. Gonna pressure with a Fire Spirit, just some light pressure in the middle of this huge push. Skeletons to preserve my Valk a little bit, and then Queen off to the side, because I kind of want my Queen to try and take out the support troops if I can, not just be focused on the Golem the whole time. So pop ability, nice. Queen is on the Inferno Dragon, that's pretty good. Baby Dragon's coming in, but Queen does get a really nice last hit on the Bandit, and okay, I misplaced my Tesla, that was pretty bad. I should have played it one tile over to the right, I think. That would have hit the Baby Dragon, and he's in the lead now, but I'm going to go for a Valk Hog, right, because he only has Skarmy, I believe, and iDrag, actually. I forgot about the iDrag, but still, like, Valk gets the tower, Hog pushes it all the way up, and that is going to be almost tower down, so if I can just defend this, yeah, that is going to be tower down, so I just cycle back to another Valk here. If I can just stall out for the next 10 seconds, I will get the 12 win, so, yeah, like, this defense isn't that clean. I'm going to go Skellies for the iDrag, and I mean, technically I did defend that. Like, I wouldn't have lost if the game continued, but that's going to be a pretty nice win. Really happy about it, and that's going to be a really nice 12 win with Hog EQ. So against Golem there, you know, kind of in those weird situations at the end where you have to go all in, I feel like it's good to just kind of go with a Hog Valk or something where they're going to have to defend it so that you can just kind of get away with it. But nice 12 win, and let's open up the chest here. Already got a legendary wild card, so that's really nice. And yeah, these chests, I do have a lot of cards max, so they're not too good for me. But I mean, 22k gold for 100 gems. Who can say no to that value? But yeah, that Golem deck, I feel like against even Lavahound sometimes, late in the match, you can go for those all-in hog pushes right at the start, and they should be pretty good. I did have an unfortunate loss to the RG deck, but I still think this deck is really good, and that's going to be a 12 win. Really happy I was able to get it. You know, this is one of my newest 12 wins with non-expo, so I'm really happy about it. And hope you guys enjoyed the video as well. Gonna share that to the clan. But yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed me sharing a different deck than I'm used to on this channel. Take care, and I will see you in the next video.